There is a fear about AI.
Yeah.
People are genuinely worried. The question is, if AI can do most of our tasks, then what are people needed for?
AI is not coming to take over people's jobs.
Yeah.
It's the people who know how to use it that are taking over those jobs. As human beings, we tend to focus on the negatives, and there are positive things that are coming from the use of AI. The element of being human is underrated. Your creativity, the thing that you bring to the table, is different from what another person brings. And that's what AI cannot replicate. Some people treat AI as if it's like their personal therapy. The problem is, a lot of these AI tools don't have the security that people think that they do. At the moment, people need to understand that if you're using AI, you shouldn't expect that anything is private. The more people remember this, the better it is.
Okay, so welcome to the Izu Godfrey podcast.
Thank you.
This is a space where we talk about the part of life that we've not yet figured out yet, and it's more like a journey. And for now, my name is Izu Godfrey, and I'm walking through that journey too. Okay, so the first thing that comes to my mind is something that bothers around AI.
Okay.
So there's been this feeling about AI. People are worried that the career that they are going into, the courses that they are studying, that it feels like AI can do most of what they're doing. And the reason why this bothers me is because of the fact that there are a couple of comments that I've received in one of the recent videos that I posted on social media when someone was talking about the fear of AI. And in their words, they were like, they're really scared because of what AI is doing already. Now, it begs the question, are people really building a career around what AI can do already? Should they be worried? Is this something that their career or what they are studying can really match? You get what I mean? So that's a big question on my mind today, and that's what we are going to be talking about today. So so what do you think about people that are studying, people that are doing some courses, different courses, and it feels like AI is there to come and take away what they are studying, or they have that feeling or that fear that AI is here to come and take away all that they are studying, or people that are young professionals? What do you think about all of that fear?
I think it's a valid fear. I think it's a fear that is based on very real feelings around what they are not sure will happen in the future. So uncertainty about the future. And it's valid because AI has suddenly grown in leaps and bounds. Things that could not be done 2 years, 3 years ago in the mainstream use cases are now available at the click of a button. So it's very valid to see that someone is afraid of what the future holds. However, I think that there are things that we can do as individuals to help mitigate some of these fears. So we can talk more about it now, or if you...
Oh, we'll come back to that. So first of all, I want to introduce you, Hanani. Welcome to the Izu Godfrey podcast.
Thank you.
And it's not easy to catch you to be here, but we're happy to have you. So the first question in my mind when we talk about AI, because I know that people are always scared, even myself, sometimes when I see what AI can do, I mean, there are loads of new technologies coming out every day as a result. So I'm more like, what should people actually be preparing for? People like I highlighted earlier, what should they be preparing for? Because yes, like you said, there is a genuine fear, and yes, it's hovering around everywhere. So what should people be preparing for? I'm going to be taking notes because I want to prepare myself. Yeah.
I'm not going into specifics about it
Yeah.
because I think, let me go back a little bit. So although AI is different in terms of all of the things that it can now do, we've seen similar patterns in the past. So we have situations where people were farming using their hands, using
Yeah.
hose, using all kinds of manual methods.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you have the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
tractors. You have all sorts of things that can do all that work in a fraction of the time.
Yeah.
And so, what do you think those people were thinking at that time? They were scared.
True.
They're going to lose their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Think of, I mean, as far back as, I don't know what year, when there were people whose job it was to go and knock on doors and wake people up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now we have alarm. In fact, we don't even just have alarm clocks, they're in our phones.
Yeah.
And speaking of phones, we even had huge computers that would fill buildings.
Yeah.
People had to
Yeah.
go into the buildings to go and use their punch cards and things to interact with those computers.
Yeah.
If they were thinking about the future, there's no way they could imagine that someday they could have a computer in their pockets. There's no way they could imagine that all these things that they were doing would, I don't want to say useless, but
it's become obsolete.
It's obsolete,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And so what I'm trying to say is that there are so many revolutions that have happened in time
Yeah.
where things have changed, people's jobs have had to shift with those things. And so I think in terms of preparation, people should be more working on their adaptability and willingness to learn and grow and move with the times. And whatever that means for each person will be based on what they're working on or what they're doing.
Okay.
So what I should be looking at as someone in the software engineering space will be different from what someone is looking at in maybe if they're a teacher or if they're in the agricultural space or things like that. So that's why I'm not being specific on this is what you should do.
Okay, so that actually leads me to the next question because that it's interesting to know that there is almost everyone that is going to be affected, both positively and for those who are scared, maybe negatively. But what you've highlighted, obviously, there's been a high growth over time from change of using hands and hose to the industrial revolution and all of that till this point where we are. Now, my next question is when you mentioned about adaptability and you mentioned obviously in your own space software development and all of that, can you let's say for example someone out there listening to this podcast now is a software developer. How do they adapt? Because this is something that I believe that is one of your strengths. I think is one of the things that you can do. How practically can they adapt? So what skills should they be learning or what should they be upskilling in to get the whole AI into their system and get it right?
Yeah, that's a good one. I think in terms of AI specifically, and even actually it applies to other things, but being adaptable requires you to not be married to any specific tools or any specific ways of doing things. So for instance, when you are learning to write, you might use those books with all the dotted lines and I don't remember what they're called.
Sketch it out.
And it guides you. But then at some point you have to learn how to write on your own.
Yes.
So you're not married to writing in that specific way. And it's the same thing. So being more concrete in my example, for me, I had to go from, okay, what is this AI thing? What is it doing? What can I use it for?
Yeah.
And then once I kind of got my feet wet, I had to get my hands dirty.
Yeah.
And when I say getting my hands dirty, I mean being practical.
Yeah.
So you see all kinds of videos, all kinds of trainings, all kinds of things about this new AI thing and that new AI thing.
Yeah.
And it's possible to watch thousands of videos and never actually do anything. And you actually think that you know how to use those tools because of what you're watching.
Yeah.
But my one tip for anybody who is interested in finding an adaptability point to begin from is just get your hands dirty. Try something out. Try one tool.
Okay.
See how it works.
Yeah.
From using that tool, you'll be able to pivot and say, okay, this is what I liked about it, this is what I didn't like.
Yeah.
But there will always be something that will go wrong, and then you have to figure it out and say, okay, how can I make this better? How can I get the result I want?
Yeah.
And then at some point you realize, okay, this is not the way to go. Is
Mhm.
there something better? So now, instead of the general search that you would have been doing, you're
Yeah.
now more specific in saying, okay, I'm trying to do this one thing. Let's say I'm trying to do some kind of application.
Yeah.
How can I make it faster? How can I make it better? How can I
True.
get this thing done in a way that meets the needs, my needs as a person,
Yeah.
and achieves that aim. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much for that. I think it's very clear. And what I hear you say is that people need to actually get interested in it. Don't be running away from it. It has come to be a part of us, and you have to get involved.
Yes.
Because I was speaking to someone yesterday, one of a friend, and she mentioned that she's been hearing this AI thing. She's on maternity leave, and she went into the office to do a keep in touch, and then she realized that almost everyone is sending reports and emails with AI, and she was like, what's going on, and then she was asking me, this AI thing is like a wave, because sometime in the past when Instagram came, I started it a bit and then I stepped back. When this other thing came, she was just talking about how she has missed out on a lot of things in the
Yeah.
past. And then she was asking me what I think about it. I told her the same thing that you just said. Get involved. You need
Yeah.
to know what's going on, and then get your hands dirty, and then see what you can learn from it. And that was very important. Thank you very much for
I'll
that.
actually even add to that.
Yeah.
People have been saying it and it's flying all over. I don't know who originally said it, but they
Yeah.
said AI is not coming to take over people's jobs.
Yeah.
It's the people who know how to use it that are
Mm.
taking over those jobs, which applies to the other things we talked about. The person who knows how to use the tractor will take over from the person who's using the cutlass and the hoe.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much. So, what do you think exactly about the uncertainty? I know it's difficult to tell, but I think people are still uncertain about what it looks like tomorrow. Like, what do you think? Because I know that there is this feeling like it's going to take over everything very soon, very soon. And people are scared. So why this question is coming in at this point is because, let's say if someone is in 100 level, and let's say going into school to study mass communication or something like that, and they're wondering, is it still worth it for me to go and study this course when most of what I can learn, I can actually learn it online? And then what do you think they can do to put their mind at rest? I think that's the right word to say.
Yeah.
Because they're just starting a new journey.
This is one of those questions that have always existed, but I think with AI it feels even scarier because AI seems to be automating things faster than any of the other things in the past. But I think it comes down to the fundamentals, which is, if you learn the fundamentals of whatever it is that you're doing, then it's easier to figure out where AI can come in. So if, let's say, okay, I'll use myself as an example. I'm a software engineer.
Yeah.
Right now, AI can write code.
Yeah.
And I can, bury my head in the sand and feel like, okay, that's the end of the journey for me.
For you,
There's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
It's only going to get better, which it is already getting better. But the fundamental is solving problems.
Yeah.
And critical thinking.
Yeah.
And I think there's a human element to that. Yes, AI can think, and we can go into what think means.
Yeah.
But in terms of the human way of looking at things, as human beings, we can do critical thinking that involves creativity, that involves human feelings, empathy. We can solve problems based on the humanness of ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's something AI
Cannot do.
cannot do.
Mm.
And so if you know the fundamentals of what it is that you're working on,
Mm.
going back to the agriculture thing again,
Mm.
the person who knows how to use the tractor doesn't suddenly become the best farmer.
Yeah.
They have to know the fundamentals. They have to know this is when to plant, this is when to water, this is when to harvest, this is
True.
when to do all of those things. And
Yeah.
so thinking of AI as a tool rather than as so many other things that people think about it helps. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. One thing that is interesting, I want to go a bit personal on this one. Okay, you didn't study anything in AI related, did you?
Not until recently. No.
Okay, so how did you actually find yourself in this space? Because obviously you didn't, it's not like you did it in your first degree or anything. How did you find yourself in, what's the motive? What pushed you into this space?
You know, it's funny. I will tell you something that you actually did not know about me. So,
Okay, tell me.
from when I was a child, I wanted to either be a teacher or a doctor.
Oh,
And then at some point, because you know how our parents can be
Yeah.
and people around us, of course, they push you in the doctor way.
yeah.
And so I was always sure I was going to be a doctor. I even remember asking my mom, what is the name of a doctor that takes care of children?
Yeah.
And so that was when I found out it was called pediatrician. And
Oh,
if you
okay.
ask me, I'll say I'm going to be a pediatrician. I went into university.
Mm-hmm.
My university did not have pre-med, just pre-medical studies, all of those things.
Yeah.
But the alternative was to either do biomedical sciences or chemistry or biochemistry.
Yeah.
And so I think I chose probably biochemistry, I think, because it was a good combination of everything and I would be able to take the medical exam and
Yeah.
all of that. And then first year, I realized I was enjoying my math classes. I was enjoying calculus and
Yeah.
trig and all of those things. And I was enjoying my chemistry classes, but I just felt suddenly that the pathways to
Right.
that would need clarity. So I did some shadowing. I went to go and shadow some nurses and pediatricians. And the actually shadowing the nurses was fine, but that was not what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a pediatrician. So
Yeah.
on the actual day I shadowed the pediatrician, I knew immediately that I did not want to be a pediatrician. And so that was the end for me. But I still enjoyed chemistry. So I thought, okay, what can I do? I could be a professor. I could work in the lab. But there are not that many directions that you could go with chemistry that I was interested in.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I don't even see myself teaching.
Mm.
So then I went home, spoke with my dad. I was like, I like my math classes. I do want to see if I can get a degree in maths. So, but I'm not going to teach maths. I'm not going to do anything with it. So,
Yeah.
we looked through the whole brochure or whatever it was. And then I was like, oh, computers. I could try something with computers. I saw computer science. I'm like, I don't know what that is. I can go for it. And so I went and changed my major to computer science.
Wow.
And so I had maths as Bachelor of Arts in Maths, Bachelor of Science in Computer Science.
Oh.
That's how I entered
Wow.
computer science. So when I'm talking about adaptability, I was not married to the idea of being a pediatrician.
Yeah.
Because I realized, okay, this is not what I'm going to want to do long term.
Yeah.
And then I've been working as a software engineer until recently. I started digging into AI a little bit. I at first was hearing ChatGPT. So that was early days. I can't even remember. The timeline is not clear in my mind now, but it's been a long time. Since it was still fairly new, I started playing around with it, and then I started learning more about it. So it reached a point when I realized, okay, people are saying this thing can code. And so I tried it, and at that time, I remember I would do the code, I would take it, copy it into my environment, use that, go back, and it would take forever to do. But I was determined that this thing was going to do
What?
something for me. And
Yeah.
of course, I had to put in my own effort. I would have
Yeah.
liked it to be fully done by ChatGPT,
Yeah.
but I had to put in my own
Efforts.
effort to see, okay, it was always failing on something, and
Yeah.
it would take, and slowly, I started realizing, okay, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
What are other ways? And so it just happened from getting my hands dirty. I started being able to be more specific in what I was looking for in terms of tools, in terms of AI knowledge.
Yeah.
And it's been all that time until now.
Yeah.
I've just been upskilling on my own in terms of AI. So yeah, I answered multiple questions in one day.
Yeah, you did. You actually did. You actually did. And it's actually going to skip me to 2 questions ahead. And
Okay.
what exactly did, obviously, what I've seen is that you've been adaptable from a very long time, not just during this period of AI. You've known your strengths, you've harnessed it, and every time you've actually put in so much effort to move on and break whatever it's holding you in front. The thing that is very important here, and I think my listeners would agree, is that what did all this teach you about learning? I mean, learning all the way from all the stories that you've told us, all your journey. What has it taught you about this particular phase in life? How do I phrase it again? Okay, let's take it this way. What did that teach you about learning in this phase of life? Is it normally, I would say learning obviously is a continuous thing.
Yes.
Everyone says that. But in your own story, I would say that there's been a lot of change, not straightforward change. Here it's more like you got interested in something other than what you've always wanted, and then you made that change. So what has been that one word or couple of words that you can use to determine how your learning has been to this point?
I would say understanding how I learn
Okay.
and my personality. So I meet a lot of people who say, "Oh, I'm not going to do this because it's too hard. I'm not going to do that because it's too hard."
Yeah.
Being on this podcast is hard for me.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we have to do hard things in life.
Yeah.
And when you do that hard thing, the more you do it, the easier it gets for you. True. And even if it doesn't get easier for you, at least you have tried it, you have done it. You can say, I tried this and I failed.
Yeah.
And so for me, what motivates me is being able to say, or I don't want to be able to say I regret not doing something. Yeah, I think that's more. I want to be able to try.
Yeah.
And fail and cry about it. But at least I know I've tried it and I know what happened when I tried it.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is that most of the time you try it and it actually works. And that doesn't mean that it's any easier for me, because you can always say to yourself, "Oh, remember the last time you tried that and it worked, remember?" I will still be thinking, "Oh, it's not going to work. What happens this way?" But what I say is still go for it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Nike says just do it. Just do it.
All right. Thank you very much for that. That's actually refreshing. And I want to zoom out a bit now.
Okay.
I did zoom in initially. Now I'm going to zoom out a bit. And I was listening to one of the messages from one ex-Google CEO. I think his name was Mohammed Godat. I think Mo Godat. There was a quote he left, and I'm going to read it out. Okay. He said, "If we don't fix human values, AI will scale human flaws faster than we can handle." So when I heard that, actually there was a little bit of fear in me, to be honest, because there is that feeling that most of what we do now use AI to do is we end up asking it to do what we would normally do with our brains, and we end up diminishing in our ability to think for ourselves.
Yeah.
So because we kind of give AI the power to think for us instead of for us to control it and kind of tell it what to do. So don't you think that what Mogodat is saying about our values actually diminishing it? Don't you think that that's one of the dangers that is not currently being controlled by the government and the laws surrounding AI? What do you think about it?
I agree in terms of the lack of use of our brains, which is why I was talking about critical thinking skills.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that the government can police that, but I think as human beings, we need to police ourselves.
Yeah.
And in terms of our critical thinking skills and other skills that we have as humans deteriorating, there's a high risk of that, because you can imagine someone being asked to write an essay. They don't need to figure out how to write the essay anymore.
Yeah.
You can just pop it into ChatGPT. Gives you multiple options if you want to change the tone, the style, the whatever you want. It does that for you. But I think the values part is the other side of what he mentioned, which is there is a huge part of being human that we forget about when it comes to work, when it comes to whatever thing we're doing. So for instance, you probably had in school when they tell you write an essay about something related to you, something that would require you to think about maybe your holidays or something specific to you. And in writing that, yes, you're doing an essay, but you're also recalling you're recalling events, you're recalling the joy that you felt, or the anger, or the whatever emotion that you had. You're recalling a lot of things, and the process of writing it comes out as an essay, but your brain has gone through a whole process in doing that by hand, versus when you concoct a story with AI. But the other part of what he was saying in terms of values is most of most of it, AI training doesn't just come from nowhere. It comes from things that humans have learned to do. And you'll see people talk about AI was put in this situation and they decided to connive or deceive or do. Those are things that they learned from the data from human beings. And so the more we have those kinds of things, the more AI amplifies it. It doesn't just learn on its own. You feed it the data, and the data comes from human beings. So if we don't value honesty, if we don't value integrity, if we don't value those important things, then you will see it multiply the other side.
That's AI going rogue.
Exactly.
All right. The next question that I want to ask is a bit of a statistics. So one of the questions that I've noticed that when we were doing a little bit of research before this podcast, so we found out that in 2023, the most searched thing on Google about AI in the UK is AI dangerous? And it's actually the third most searched thing on in the whole world globally. So there is a fear about AI, and people are genuinely worried. Now, the question is, if AI can do most of our tasks, then what are people needed for? If AI can do most of what we do, what are people actually needed for?
I think we tend to focus on the negatives of things because that makes news, it makes headlines, it's more interesting to hear. If I tell you, oh, my day was good, I stood up and I was able to stand, that's not news. But if I say, oh, I tried to stand up and I just couldn't stand, then you're like, oh, tell me more. And so I to an extent, I feel some of it is fear mongering. That doesn't mean there isn't any risk. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I'm just saying that as human beings, we tend to focus on the negatives, and there are positive things that are coming from the use of AI. So we could focus on that. But going specifically to what you're saying about the dangers, I think part of the dangers of AI or the fears people have are those things that people have told them about, like in sci-fi movies, where you see the rise of some AI kind of thing that's coming to colonize the earth and will kill everybody. But I think the threats are the threats are kind of divided. You have those kinds of things that there's nothing you can really do about, and so there's no point dwelling on it. But the things you can deal with and do something about are things like safety around AI.
Yeah.
Some people treat AI as if it's like their personal therapist or personal thing that is only them speaking to. They only have access to it. And the problem is a lot of these AI tools don't have the security that people think that they do. So lots of ChatGPT messages or Gemini messages or whatever, all those messages that people have done with different AI tools are leaked here and there. You have people that have created vibe coded apps that have leaked things like maybe customers, their customer information, personal information, because they didn't put the proper security in it.
Wow.
There are people who are doing deep fakes and claiming to be somebody's cousin, mother, son, child, whatever. So I think being aware of how to deal safely with AI is more important than being worried about those huge sci-fi type things, because in my opinion, I don't know much about how you can change that if it was going to happen. Exactly. So focus on the things that you can control.
This is quite interesting what you just said, and I'm worried, genuinely worried, and I think my listeners can actually agree with me that if people can now start creating like stuff like things like digital twins, you see people having like profiles like actual real humans. If people have access to this and they're all over the internet and people can access your data easily, because obviously a lot of people live with AI. It's more like they're part of their life now. They don't. I've heard of someone who got married to one of the Twitter, is it X? One of the characters in on Twitter that is obviously AI, and obviously for someone like that, all their data is up there online. So it begs the question of how safe is AI really? Because if people can create multiple profiles and swindle people or use it as scam, then is that not where government there needs to be a balance? Because it feels like people can do anything they want to do as long as they have access to AI and they can spoof people's information. So what do you think about the security of AI? And one of the fears that is coming up in my mind as you speak is actually the safety of AI, because yes, I do interact with AI. It's difficult for anyone in this era not to interact or get involved with AI, because it feels like this is something that we need to use and maximize to our advantage. So that fear now of safety, is this something that government can do something about, or is something that we should learn to live with? You tell me, what do you think?
The good news is governments are already looking into that. There is a government, I don't remember what government it is, that has just passed laws making it illegal for people to have AI clones of other people.
Interesting.
So you can create an AI clone of yourself, which people are already doing anyway. If you have a podcast and you don't want to be on camera, you just send it over to your digital twin.
I shouldn't have come here.
I guess me too. But people are doing it already. They're pumping out videos as fast as anything because they have those digital twins.
Yeah.
But the problem becomes what we're talking about, where you do it with someone else's image, voice,
Yeah.
likeness, whatever it may
Yeah.
be. And I don't remember what government has already passed those laws, but it is now illegal to do that and much more using AI in their country. Other countries are in the process of trying to put together all kinds of laws and things to make it illegal for people to do those things. So that is one side. The other side of our personal responsibility remains, which has always been the case. When you're using the internet, you have to practice internet safety.
Yeah.
When you're using your phones or whatever it is, you have to practice safety with all the apps and things that you use. So it's no different with AI. I think at the moment, people need to understand that if you're using AI, you shouldn't expect that anything is private. Because even the people giving you the AI tools will show you in the fine print, sometimes not even in the fine print, they'll just put it there. You can see it, that there will be other people looking at the conversations you're having. So these are not private conversations.
Yeah.
And I think the more people remember this, the better it is. It's okay to do things for your company, for your brand, for your whatever, but limit personal information. You can't be putting your name, your date of birth, your everything to identify yourself, because if it gets leaked online, that is a problem. So
identity theft.
Exactly. And that's so much easier to do now. So it doesn't take, the government putting things in place doesn't take away our responsibility as individuals.
Thank you very much for that. I think that's something I should probably jot down. So I'll take it down. Okay, so if just a quick one, if people should stop asking Googling, is AI dangerous, what question do you think they should be asking Google then?
I think
Or other search
engines.
Search engines.
We know what you mean. I think there are multiple things people can be searching with AI. So if you go on the simpler, more generic use case, if I'm looking to travel, for instance, I want to go to a new city or something, I can use AI to help me plan all of that. So you could be asking questions like, how can I use AI to be more efficient in my travel planning?
Okay.
I'm trying to remember which travel I was trying to do. I think I was trying to set up something for my in-laws, and it would have taken me forever to look for the very specific things that were needed for them, because they have specific needs that need to be taken into account when booking things. I just go and AI can do that for me.
Okay.
And without having to give it any personal information.
Wow.
And we have now gotten to the point where you can use agentic websites or browsers, agentic browsers, or agentic what are those things called? Browser extensions that can go all the way to booking your trip for you, filling out forms, doing all of those things. So finding out things like that, finding out how can I be safe online while using AI? What are the basics I need to know about practicing AI safety while I use it? As a student, what tools are there to help me learn better while using AI? In terms of specific work, you can have conversations with AI about those kinds of things, like how can I use AI to be more efficient in my job as a software engineer, or as things like that, things that are more useful to productivity or going more in the positive direction rather than, because if you go you get whatever you ask for, basically. Is it dangerous? Yes, it's dangerous. Is it good? Yes, it's good. Is it? You understand?
All right. Thank you. So I've got two related questions for you, and one of them is, from what you've said so far, it's obvious that would you say that you love AI, or you love the invent of AI? I know this is a little bit personal,
Yeah.
but yeah, we know that from what you've said so far, there is the risks
Yeah.
and there is obviously the benefits. So, do you want to tell us what you stand on?
um, I I tend to be positive
About it, okay?
in general because AI has made it possible for people to do things that they never would have been able to do.
Yeah.
There are things that I personally have done that there is no way I could have done if I didn't have AI to do it. Not that, well, let me not say there's no way I could have done them, but in a much longer
Period of
time
yeah.
scale.
Yeah.
But now I want to try something new. I want to do something new. I can just go and ask, give me the steps to do these things. It will say, go here, click here, do this, do that. And boom, I'm done in a weekend. I've done something that would have taken me
you longer
weeks
time.
or months. And the thing about people, it doesn't apply to everybody, but in general, we get to be, once things take too long to do, unless it's something that we really want to achieve, we tend to kind of push it to the background. So I think in that sense, in terms of productivity, yes. In terms of making money, that's another one. And we talk about this all the time. There are so many ways that people are able to start their businesses as individuals that they would never have been able to do on their own before without having to employ multiple people. But now someone can start a business in a weekend. Obviously, it's not. I just mean like the MVP of the business, not necessarily the full business. You can begin to go live with whatever ideas you have as soon as they come to your mind, and you validate that with AI and you move through the whole process. And that was something that in the past maybe 4 or 5 years people could not do. So I tend to see the positives in it. There's so many more, but we don't have time for all of them. But yeah.
All right. Just before I move on to the next one, I said there is 2 questions. So the second one was, when people want to send out reports or emails or make a judgment decision, and their thoughts or decision making skills are weak, and they go to AI, does he expose their weakness, or does he help them make a better decision, or what do you think?
I think sometimes it can, but sometimes it goes back to what the quote you read was about. It can amplify the weakness or the
flaws,
negatives, the
human
flaws,
flaws,
the flaws,
faster than we can handle,
because if you well, I don't know if this is the case now as much as before, because I've kind of set up all my AI tools in the back end to not give me generic normal answers. So I don't know, but I know that there was a time when ChatGPT or Gemini or one of these things would always agree with you. It's like, oh, that's such a good question. You're right to be asking this question. And then it will give you the rest of the response, and you move on with that, and you are very happy because it looks smart. It looks like you put, some words together that look good. And then you started seeing people complaining, like, oh, at first it was nice because I was being validated, but now it just feels, I don't know. I can't even trust whether it's true or it's not. And then you have hallucinations, and you have all of those kinds of things where it's making up information that doesn't exist. So that's why I was saying, as a person, we need to invest in the skill of critical thinking and understanding the fundamentals of what it is that we're working in or doing. So we can be able to point out and say, okay, this doesn't make sense. This isn't right. This doesn't work, and work with the tool to give us what we need rather than wholly and totally relying on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. All right. Given everything that we've talked about so far, now don't forget in the beginning we talked about the student that is probably in 100 level or even a final year student or the young professional who's like visualized like, oh, I want to be a banker and then rise to become a CEO someday. But then it feels like AI is changing a lot of things. What is one shift that you think that they can make that will place them in a better position in spite of the changes that AI is making? No matter how changes come, they are still relevant in the changing AI world we are living in right now.
I will say something that is not profound.
Okay.
And the reason I say it is because sometimes our brains can get so focused on something and we get stuck in a loop of
Yeah.
fear
Yeah.
and dread and worry. But the not profound thing I'm going to say is use a search engine and find what does this skill or this job look like in 10 years time, in 5 years time, in fact, because things are going at such
Rapidly
a
changing.
rapid pace. Yeah.
Yeah.
And figure it out. And you will see that there are people who know much better than me, much better than you, what these things look like. And you just find out. And once you know, okay, my fear that there's no future in this is valid, then that's fine. Now you know, at least you're not blindsided, you're not working based on fear, you're now working based on facts.
Yeah.
So now you know, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
You need to figure out, how do I pivot? How do I use this knowledge that I have? Let's say we're talking about a final year student. It's too late now to change what
your
they've
course.
studied. Exactly.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that all hope is lost. It
Yeah.
just means I'm not going to waste the next 2 years of my life trying to get that job that will then no longer exist in 5 years.
Yeah.
This is the time when I can pivot into something else and upskill in this other side of things and figure out how my new career can look. And that's hard for some people because a lot of people do go to school to do something that they love. So it's not, I'm not trivializing that, and I'm not saying that it's so easy to just wake up and just change. But at the end of the day, if you're not going to have a future in that, there's no point wasting time what could have been, what it should be, and all of that. Just what is the next thing? Find out. Again, do the search, use AI, use your search engines, figure out what is something else that I can move to that will be useful in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years, in the next whatever amount of time it is that you're looking at. And the other thing is, many people don't even work in the field of the degree that they got.
Okay.
You will meet, there was a lady, someone was telling us about how his brother was a lawyer, he's a doctor, his other brother was something else, the sister studied, I want to say, sociology or something like that. And the parents were not happy about it because what? But she ended up working with an oil company, ended up being the highest paid or highest earner within their family as siblings. I think it probably even more than their parents, from something unexpected. So, and she worked in that job. Even after she left, they were still taking care of her. They were taking care of her hospital bills. They were taking care of her other insurance and things that she had with them. From a sociology degree. So there are stories like that that people have. You don't have to, going back to what I said, you don't have to be married to
what you studied,
you studied, or what your tools are, or what your way of doing things is.
All right, thank you very much. Just in addition to that, what do you think that people actually underestimate themselves with, when they feel threatened by AI? What do you think that they Why do you think they even underestimate themselves?
I think it's natural to underestimate ourselves. I think that when something comes naturally to us,
Mm.
it's easy to underestimate how powerful it is.
Yeah.
So something as simple as just being a human being, we're not even talking about any special abilities.
Yeah.
We underestimate it because we can fall sick, we can die, we can have injury, all of these different things. And so we focus on the way things can break, the way things can get bad, the way things
Yeah.
can go wrong, without realizing that there's the other side, the way things can go right.
Right. Yeah.
And the blessing of being a human being is that we're unique. So if you were a twin,
Yeah.
even if you are identical twins, there will still you're not there's still something different about identical twins.
Yeah.
Not to talk of people who are not even related or anything.
Yeah.
Everybody has something unique about them. Your fingerprint is different
Yeah.
from somebody else. And when I say fingerprint, it goes deeper because your creativity, the thing that you bring to the table,
Yeah.
is different from what another person brings. And that's what AI cannot replicate. The way you see, if I give you a canvas to paint something, will be completely different from the way I will paint it.
Yeah.
And I think going into the age of AI, we need to not lose that core creativity and the core of who we are as human beings, the things that make us human,
Yeah.
the emotions that we have, the things that we enjoy as being human. I think those need to be amplified more,
Yeah.
and celebrated more rather than staying on the side of fear and
Yeah.
worry and dread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So this is out of the blues question I want to ask you.
Okay.
So if someone today has an idea
Yes.
of maybe a business or something that they want to achieve or they want to put out there, but somehow they are too busy. They've got work and there's uncertainty there. What should they be doing, or how can they leverage on AI that's in a way that they can maximize? Because you just said that people can start businesses in a weekend, they can start a lot of things,
Yeah.
but the thing is that we, in this era where we are, we're so busy that we don't even like have time for the things that will give us satisfaction because we're just earning our daily bread.
Yes.
So a lot of people are in that circle and they want to know, how can I leverage AI and then scale this idea that I have?
Well, I will give a shameless plug
Okay.
at the end of my answer, but before I get into that, sometimes it's as easy as, again, just having a conversation with AI.
Yeah.
This is my idea, this is what I want to do. But I think we have reached the point where people are realizing the benefit of community, because I can live on my own or with other people, but I don't necessarily have the push I need or the direction or the guidance I need to be able to go out and do that thing I want to do. So I want to start a business. Many people will say, I want to start a business, but I don't know how to.
Yeah.
Or I want to start a business, but there's so much involved. And here's where the shameless plug comes in. I have started a program and you have agreed to come on board, thank you, to help, where we're going to be bringing together people who are at the early stages of their idea generation, trying to validate their business ideas and figure out, is this a pathway I can go through? So we're going to be working on things like setting up your website or landing page, figuring out how to validate that idea you have. branding, where you come in,
Yeah.
being able to build a brand around whatever it is that you're doing,
Yeah.
marketing, all of those different elements. But what's the best part of it is that it's not about me teaching, or even you teaching.
Yeah.
The best part of it is the community, because you get to see that you're not alone. You're not the only person working on something, trying to figure it out. And why this is important for me is because I think the world works and probably even thrives on people who seem to know what they're doing, who seem
Yeah.
to have everything figured out. And then there are the other people who don't know what they're doing,
Yeah.
don't have it figured out, don't know where to start from.
Yeah.
But they're afraid to ask the stupid questions, the
True.
silly questions,
True.
which is another reason why people love AI so much, because their AI will not tell them you're stupid. It will say,
Yeah.
great question. I'm glad you asked. And so trying to build a community of people who are able to support one another and say, okay, this week, this is what we have agreed to do. We're going to work on this. By the end of this month, we want to be able to launch this. We want to be able to check this. And people can ask, oh, I was trying to set this up. It wasn't working. Has anybody had any experience with this? And people can jump in and say, oh, yes, I've had the same thing, and just work together. And I think the power of community in the age of AI is a good combination that will help people be able to do more. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that. I think one of the things that I've realized is that with technology, it feels like we are more individualistic and less community, even though the whole social media and technology is supposed to bring us together, but it feels like we're more individualistic and all of that.
Yeah.
But having a community where you're accountable to is actually very important, because no matter how good your ideas are, if you're not accountable to someone. I was telling a story recently about an idea I had some time ago when I was working in the bank, and unfortunately, because I held on to this idea, I wanted this idea to be the next big thing. I had other plans, and at the end of the day, I was unable to scale this idea. Not because it was a bad idea, but because I kept it to myself and I was unable to put it out there.
Yeah.
So if you have a community who is ready to support you and able to make you accountable at every point in time, you have targets that you need to meet, I think that's going to actually scale whatever plan you have.
Yes.
And I give kudos to that. So one thing I wanted to ask, if someone listens to this podcast, obviously this episode, and do you think they will be less anxious about AI, or would they be more worried about it, or do you think they would have understood it a little bit differently?
I'm not sure what they'll take from it in terms of anxiety, but I think my takeaway for people would be, it's valid to have whatever feeling you have concerning AI and how it will affect your future. But you have to remember that you do have power. There are things that you can be doing. So call out whatever fear it is that you have, figure out what specifically it is that you're afraid of, and increase your knowledge about that. Figure out whether this is a valid fear. If it is a valid fear, figure out, is there something you can do about it or not? If there's nothing you can do about it, then there's no point wasting your time worrying about it. I mean, obviously, by all means, every week can think about it, but give it its time and move on from it.
Yeah.
But if it is something you can do, then try and take the steps to do, even if it is the minimum, to help yourself. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. When you think about the next few years from now, what do you think? What do you think that would matter more to people than people actually realize?
I think I've been saying this multiple times, but I will say it again. Being human, the element of being human, it's underrated, and even as I'm saying it now, I'm not sure that I'm explaining it in the depth that it needs. But there's something about being able to go shopping with somebody else, a human being. There's something about being able to go home and give your loved ones a hug. there's something about being able to share a meal with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, being able to be human with other humans
Yeah.
is so important, and I cannot stress it enough.
Yeah.
There are things that we do, like for some people it might be something as simple as having a cup of tea, sitting in their garden, getting some sunshine when there is in the UK. Those simple things in life are things that we tend to miss out on because of how the world is going
Yeah.
nowadays. And I just think that if we keep ignoring those things, it causes bigger problems, because now we have the, should I say, epidemic of loneliness.
Yeah.
And some people are lonely even though they have other people in their houses. You
Yeah.
have 5 people in one household, everybody's on the phone.
Yeah.
Or in the laptop or
Yeah.
something, or
Yeah.
in their rooms.
Yeah.
You would be shocked the number of people that say they don't eat together as a family.
Yeah.
You will be shocked the number of people that say the last time they had a conversation with their loved ones about this and that is a real thing. But because we're so consumed with all the other things that we have to be consumed about, because obviously bills have to be paid, food,
Yeah.
things need to be taken care of, we forget all of those things. And I think those are so important that we cannot ignore them at the expense of everything else. Because at the end of the day, when it's time to die, so to speak,
Yeah.
you will not be thinking about, oh no, I didn't send that email that was optimized with AI. Oh, I should have used AI for that thing. Or you're thinking about your family members, you're thinking about your loved ones, you're thinking about more concrete and more important things. And I think that is something that we can't lose hold on. Yes,
Yeah.
we can't lose touch with.
All right, thank you so much, Hanani. And I have to say, it has really been refreshing. There are lots of things I didn't know about AI that this conversation has opened my eyes to. And and I really want to appreciate you once again for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So one last question that we would have. This is more like a tradition. Yeah.
All right.
So the question is, what is something in your life right now that you don't fully have figured out, but you're still moving through anyway?
Where do I begin? Oh gosh. I think balance is something I'm still figuring out, and I'm figuring it out every day. So I figuring out how to balance getting my bills paid, but also being 100% present with my family, but also being able to grow my relationships with friends and other people, but also being able to network, and also being able to do my business on the side, and also being able to, and I can stack all of that and being able to balance it, because I honestly was so stupid to believe that you can have it all. And I'm not ashamed to admit it, because I think there's some people that maybe they do have it all, and I'm happy for them, but I have not figured it out. And I'm learning that some things will not get 100% of my attention, so I need to be able to figure out who and what is most important at each point, and just start there. But yeah, I'm still figuring it out. So
Yeah, I think that balance is something that is quite, I think it's quite a thing, quite a word for anyone that is highly driven, anyone that's got family at the same time, anyone that's got loads of friends, and a lot of activities going on in
Yeah.
their life. As long as you're highly driven, you can't settle for less, especially when there's a standard that you have for yourself. You want to always meet that
Yep.
standard.
Yeah.
So I think to some degree I understand where that is coming from. And I hope in spite of it all that you create time for you.
Yes. Oh, you see, I didn't even add myself to the list. And that's listeners, you have to add yourself to the list. You are important. Yes.
This is for my viewers and listeners. So, what is something that has become clearer to you today in your journey with AI and life? Because AI is now part of our life, and even as we keep growing and keep going, we have to adjust and learn how to maximize the abilities of AI. It is now a part of our life. I hope that there is something that's become a little bit clearer in your journey today. In the meantime, I remain Izu Godfrey and thank you for sticking with the Izu Godfrey podcast. Have a lovely day. See you next time.